Hello and thanks for joining us today. On Monday, MCPS will begin its 2022-23 school year. I want to wish all of our students, teachers, and support staff best of luck this year. I remember from my teaching days at Rolling Terrace Elementary in Tacoma Park, the excitement that comes with the start of the school year, but in my 17 years as an educator, we never dealt with anything as complicated as COVID. The last 3 school years have been full of unprecedented challenges for both our students, their families, and our educators. Throughout the pandemic, MCPS has demonstrated resilience and innovation while continuing to provide an exemplary learning environment given the constraints of COVID, and assisting much needed additional support and resources to those families most impacted from the pandemic. The school year will be Superintendent Monifa McKnight's first school year as the new superintendent, and I'm very excited for her to enact her vision and agenda for MCPS. She and her administration, principals, teachers, and other employees have been hard at work this summer developing a plan that provides more support for growth and development, adds reading specialists at every school, and expands early education efforts to get more kids ready for school before kindergarten. I want to assure parents in the community that while public safety is always the top priority, we also realized how important it is to adjust to life with COVID. The new guidance announced by the CDC recently de-emphasizes quarantines for students simply exposed to someone who tests positive. That change will likely help increase attendance rates, but we will continue to recommend testing and masking for symptomatic and exposed students to reduce transmissions in schools, especially if we see another surge like we experienced last winter. This Saturday is our annual Back to School Fair from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Westfield Wheaton Mall. At this fair, our Health and Human Services Department will provide a free COVID-19 vaccination and immunization clinic. Many of the required immunizations to attend school, including Tdap and MCV4, will also be available. I highly encourage MCPS families to attend this event and to please vaccinate your children. For more information about this fair and everything else students and parents need to know for the new school year, please visit MontgomeryCountySchoolsMD.org. We have some encouraging COVID-19 news to share. COVID case rates are once again just over 150 per 100,000, and we remain in the low community level for the second week in a row, which is good news. When we ended the past school year in June, our case rate was nearly double what it is today. We're also seeing a slight decline in our hospitalization rates. You have heard us week after week talk about the importance of being vaccinated and boosted for us to continue reducing our hospitalization and mortality rates. Data shows that the unvaccinated are 3 to 4 times more likely to need a hospital stay compared to the fully vaccinated, and boosted individuals are even more protected. According to the CDC, 89.5% of our total population is fully vaccinated, which is the highest in the nation for a jurisdiction of our size and diversity. This has been an incredible accomplishment, but we must continue to be vigilant and not give up on those who continue to refuse this protection. The newest vaccine option, a protein-based vaccine developed by Novavax, is now available. It's a vaccine that was developed in the way other vaccines were. It has been tested and deemed to be safe by federal regulators. It also differs from all the other vaccine options in that it is not based on mRNA technology. Please consider asking for it at your doctor's office or sign up for an appointment on our website. And our booster rates still remain below 60% of our fully vaccinated population. This number frustrates me, even though more than 10% of our residents still remain unvaccinated. Getting boosted is easy, it's free at our health centers, and usually there is not out-of-pocket costs for insured individuals going to pharmacies and other clinics. There are a few jurisdictions in this region and state that continue focusing and messaging this as much as we do every single week. But we must not give up on this. It was only just in January that our hospitals were overwhelmed, and there's nothing to stop that from happening again this fall or winter. That's why the decisions we make now can help us to stay in the safe place. The introduction of a new variant at the time, which continues to mutate and evolve, is a real possibility, and it could be happening soon. So being prepared is your best defense. I do hope that the FDA approves the new booster shots that have been created to address Omicron and its variants as soon as possible. It was good news this week that Pfizer and BioNTech announced that they have asked the FDA to authorize the updated version of their COVID-19 vaccine. These new boosters could be a game changer, and they're going to be critical in ensuring we don't see our health system overwhelmed for a third winter in a row. Monkeypox, or MPX, cases continue to rise, with more than 400 now being reported in Maryland and 16,000 around the nation. This past Monday, we held the first virtual town hall on MPX to give the public more information about the county's response and to answer questions from the community. Approximately 200 residents participated, and I want to thank the HHS team for putting together a successful and informative session. We're still answering some questions of those people who couldn't get answered during the town hall, and there are plans for more virtual town halls in the future. Montgomery County is following CDC guidelines adjusted earlier this month to adopt a new vaccination method called intradermal. It is proven safe and effective and will allow people to benefit from our vaccine supply. Close to 3 times the amount of people seeking a vaccine will be able to get one now with the supply we've already been shipped. More than 2,800 people have pre-registered for a vaccine, and we're in the process of training nurses and setting up clinics. Please continue checking montgomerycountymd.gov/MPX for the most current information. In just the last few days, it was revealed that polio has returned to the United States after health experts declared it eradicated in 1979. In July, a New York City man was infected and paralyzed by the virus. Sewage samples taken following that diagnosis found that the virus had probably been spreading there for months. I was among the first kindergartners lined up for polio shots back in the 50s. I can only remember looking back at the devastating impact polio had on families and communities, and how important it was for everyone to get vaccinated when it was such a huge threat. Polio's 43-year absence was attributed to a global vaccination campaign. The incurable disease is preventable, but only by vaccination. Health experts credit the recent trend of anti-vaxxers for polio's reemergence. Couple that with pockets of America that are already resistant to vaccines, and health experts believe sporadic outbreaks of polio are possible. Very soon, Montgomery County will have the technology to monitor sewage water for traces of the virus like COVID-19 and polio. We're currently finalizing a wastewater detection program with the University of Maryland and other partners. This new system will allow us to respond quicker and alert the public earlier than we can currently. This will be a game changer for our public health efforts. As Labor Day approaches, the Montgomery County Department of Transportation is preparing to close 2 of our area's streeteries. Streeteries have provided a practical solution to a pandemic-related problem. They served as much-needed gathering spaces for restaurant customers during the height of the pandemic and provided a creative solution to community safety and social distancing issues. Now, as the situation has changed, we've worked with the community in each of the areas to decide whether these spaces should continue to operate and in what capacity. The Streetery on Newell Street in Silver Spring will reopen the cars after Labor Day. However, it will close the traffic for scheduled public events throughout the year, so we expect that use to continue, just not every day. This is based on the fact that there aren't any restaurants in the immediate vicinity, and feedback from the neighbors who literally live in a building that is right next to where the seating is and where the streetery is, who have to deal with noise and disruption in their daily life and have complained of not even being able to open windows at night because of the noise. Our Department of Transportation closed down 1 block of Newell Street, which effectively doubled the size of Acorn Park near the Silver Spring Metro Station. But new plans for a park are in process of being finalized, which will bring neighbors in that area what they temporarily had with Newell Street being closed for the last 2 years. The new park is literally a few hundred feet up the block. The parking planning has already bought the site, and it will be converted to a park, which should provide residents with an even better experience than they were getting on Newell Street. The Woodmont Avenue Streetery in Bethesda will also be suspended, partially reopen the traffic after Labor Day. That's needed for construction of the long-planned and partially finished Woodmont Avenue cycle track. Streeteries on Price Avenue in Wheaton and Norfolk Avenue in Bethesda will remain in operation after Labor Day. Thanks for tuning in again, and I hope you have a great week.